this program for breaking news.
And we are following breaking news. A small plane has crashed at RDU International Airport within the last 30 minutes. We're hearing of 2 injuries. This was off a secondary runway in an airfield, and we have some crews there on the way there to the scene.
Even though it's on that secondary runway, it is still shut down air traffic. Incoming flights are being halted and waiting, being rerouted, redirected, and flights are not taking off from there either. We can go to the WRAL Live Center right now. Michelle McConaughey is standing by with some of that with a live look there, first of all, and some of also what's going on at the airport.
Yeah, guys, this emergency situation happening right now. This is a picture into the newsroom of the aircraft down. You mentioned that it happened on the secondary runway. So this is a picture of that aircraft. It's a very small aircraft. Again, learning 2 people on board. They are reporting injuries. It crashed down on the secondary runway. A lot of emergency crews right now at that scene. We do have a live picture. We have a crew at RDU. You can see a lot of emergency responders here. We have more crews on the way that will bring us live reports. We're trying to gather the information as quickly as we can as it comes in. But Jeff and Renee mentioned it is a closed airspace right now. No inbound or outbound planes are allowed. I am checking with FlightAware to check the status of a lot of the flights right now. They're showing 27 delays out of RDU right now, which is up from 6 about 10 minutes ago. And I bet if I refresh the page, that will just continue to climb. So right now, again, 27 delays at RDU. They are not letting any planes in or out of the airspace right now. We tried to get Sky 5 up there to get you an aerial view. We could not do that. So we do have this ground image of crews on scene, emergency responders. Again, we are following this very closely. As soon as any more information comes in, we will bring that to you live.
Michelle McConaughey there in the Live Center, RDU International, saying to make sure you check with your airline if you do have a flight coming in, or you're going to pick somebody up, or you have one outbound as well.
Well, this will definitely affect air travel in the hours to come there, as you see that large emergency response there on the runway in that airfield of this small plane. Here's a live look at that again with all the emergency vehicles there and the responders. We are hearing of injuries of 2 people. We're working to confirm that and trying to find out the extent of their injuries. This happened shortly after 10:20 this morning, so just within the last 30 minutes, as you look live at the situation there at RDU International Airport.
Yeah, and the reports of that aircraft down coming in at that time, Renee, like you said, a general aviation aircraft is how it's described there. A small plane. This is our live look of it across a couple of those runways there to the emergency vehicles. But the still photo that Michelle had in the Live Center, the best look at that small plane there with just 2 people on board.
So not one of those large commercial planes carrying a large number of people, but one of those smaller planes where at times we've seen in the past that has crashed, perhaps having to make emergency landings on roads or highways or in a field. And this one happened to be right at RDU International Airport, and where people can respond. We're working to find out if there was any call as to trouble from the pilot, knowing that there was going to be some kind of emergency landing and looking for a spot to land. But we're trying to get a closer look there at the plane. Right now we are seeing those emergency vehicles and trying to get a crew a little closer if we can, but they are keeping us far back as they respond to this emergency situation.
Now, keeping everybody back, which is obviously in the name of safety there, and probably the possibility of getting Sky 5 up is limited as well because of the limited air traffic in that airspace right there. RDU International saying to monitor their channels as well, social media wise and otherwise, as well as your airlines as well, because that airspace is closed right now, income and outbound flights certainly. And well, our crew there, we have a live look here, obviously one crew on the way there, and we have others trying to gather information right at this moment.
And we are trying to learn some new information from the radio traffic. We've been able to get a hold of a clip of the audio from Broadcastify. I understand we have that. Let's hear what it says.
Ops 1, Airport 3. Go ahead, Ops 1. Head to gate 15. We do have an aircraft down with damage.
Okay, so that quick clip there from Broadcastify, usually a good source of trying to get the immediate response and exactly what is going on there. So pretty definitive, aircraft down, and Broadcastify bringing that to us with exactly what we're seeing here.
And from that perspective, we are hearing from what is presumably air traffic control or seeing something that's down the ground. We are not hearing yet if there have been any calls from the pilot or the people who flying that small plane that crashed there in that airfield on that secondary runway out at RDU.
And also somebody at Gate 15 identifying themselves like this is what they are seeing from Gate 15. That's what we can presume out of that. So somebody, if that is near a gate where somebody is waiting for a plane or waiting for an inbound flight from that area, that's where it was last seen. And closest seen anyway from this live view across a couple of tarmacs there. We're waiting at Sky 5 in the air as well, but small plane down, 2 people on board, waiting to get a little more information on their injuries.
And just think while this is going on and as emergency responders respond to the situation, there are a lot of folks waiting to fly out of RDU, wondering their flight's in a holding pattern. Let's go back to Michelle McConaughey in the WRAL Live Center with any new information she may have.
Yeah, so we want to show you again flightaware.com. This is showing all the different flights in the air right now. You can see RDU right here. No planes are allowed to fly in or out of RDU right now. They are all being diverted. And it actually says on their website, RDU currently experiencing all inbound flights being held at their origin until at least 11:30 today. So that's another half hour that these planes are being asked to stay where they are. Continuing to follow any flight cancellations or delays. That number still steady right now at 27 delays. No cancellations yet, but we are keeping an eye on this to see, you know, if this changes. We know a lot of folks heading out the door, heading to the airport. They really need to check the status of their airplane because right now nothing is flying in or out of RDU.
Thank you so much.
All right, Michelle, thank you. For people who have a flight out of RDU, it's going to be a while, perhaps, before your flight is able to take off. And we are getting some new information about the plane that did crash as we take a live look once again at that airfield. What we've been able to learn from the registration of that plane through the FAA, the plane owner listed as Medical Air Incorporated. That's the owner of that plane.
Yeah, fixed wing, single engine plane. If we have that still shot, I'd love to see that again because that gives us the best look at where this is. This is a secondary runway that we're getting a distant view of across a couple of runways there. But even the secondary runway is enough to close down operations for the entire airport right now.
And we're hearing about the 2 people on board who may have injuries, working to find out the extent of those injuries. But you can see the ambulances and fire trucks there out on the runway responding to that aircraft. While flights are on hold, diverted or delayed, nothing's coming into RDU at this point, and nothing is flying out until they're able to get to the bottom of this situation.
And that is a look at the picture, the still photo right in the center of the frame there where that plane crashed. Fixed wing, single engine plane. It is registered to Medical Air Incorporated. So a lot of times these are transport planes. They're could be bringing organs, could be bringing anything, making any kind of delivery or just coming back from a round trip of something of that nature, but registered to that medical company there.
This is very, very early in the investigation as this all happened within the last 40 minutes. As we show you these images and the live look there out at RDU, we do have 2 crews on the way there to also find more information and to hopefully give you another look there. Monica Casey along with Sean Gallagher headed out there as our team behind the scenes also keeps working to find out more about these details of this plane, who was on there, how badly are they injured, and the question, how did this happen and what caused that emergency crash?
Yeah, trying to keep the area secure right now while we continue the investigation. And this scene where the single engine plane went down with those 2 people inside, Judging by the reaction here and some of the medical personnel on scene there, on the left side of your screen is the still photo of the plane down in the grassy area there between a secondary runway at RDU International. On the right side is a live view right now of the medical response, the emergency response of what is happening out there exactly right now. So no word yet on if those folks are still on site, those two people who were in the plane, or if they have been taken to the hospital at this point right now.
We also have a post from RDU Airport International posted on social media here just about 20 minutes ago, it looks like. And it says the airport authority is responding to an accident involving a general aviation aircraft near RDU's secondary runway, specifically 5R23L. The airfield is currently closed for flight operations. And a reminder to check with your airline for flight status and to keep following RDU's social media channels for the latest information. And we are also tracking RDU's social media channels to glean any more information that we can as they respond to this incident, but certainly staying on the air to make sure you are aware of the situation, and especially for those who have a flight out at RDU, word as to when those planes may take off.
And putting flight aware up on the right side of your screen right here so that we can see some of the delays, the diversions, the reroutes that are going on right now. Some aircraft have landed. They got in before this was shut down because of this small plane crash here, but others are being diverted and sent to other airports or also just sent in a holding pattern and just waiting until they get the all clear here. But safety first with this, obviously.
A surreal image there, Jeff, to see that plane crashed there at RDU and sunny blue skies. It certainly does not appear that weather was a factor in this. We could also check the winds, but we're waiting to hear exactly what kind of issue it was that caused this plane to go down. And at the very least, it ended up at a runway at RDU International. You think of other locations that that pilot may have been forced to crash the plane, and at least there are not other people or other buildings there at the runway at RDU.
We've had several incidents recently of small planes landing on or near highways or neighborhoods. Rocky Mount just last week, there was that exact incident that took place, a plane trying to find a place to put down. This one, like you said, Renee, obviously close enough there to the airport to get down, but not safely. So we will certainly wait and get some more details before we can definitively be able to say what caused that plane to crash. It may take some time.
And of all places, RDU International Airport would certainly be well equipped to respond to these kinds of emergency situations. It's not something that happens very often. Sometimes you have planes having to make an emergency landing, but not crash. And most of the time, the outcome, the people are okay, and we're certainly hoping that is the case in this situation. We're just waiting to find out the two people on board on that small plane and what caused it to go down shortly after 10:20 this morning, as we stay on the air with you here at 11:04, giving you these live looks at what is playing out at RDU International Airport with those emergency responders. They've been trained on all kinds of emergency situations. They practice that, and now they're putting all that practice into reality as they work on this situation and help those on that aircraft.
And as we work to find out the condition, the potential injuries to the folks, the two people who were on that small plane there, we also have several crews who are making their way out towards the airport, trying to get in some of the usual locations where our reporters and photographers will go. The overlook, you know, in the general aviation area is one spot, but this is in the type of area on that secondary runway where there's just not a good shot to get a view of exactly what's happening here emergency-wise. So we'll continue to send those crews and find those places.
Yeah, that's right, Jeff. One of our photographers is out at that observatory outlook, a popular place for families to go and check out the planes as they take off and land. Many of you are aware of that parking lot where you might pull in there to wait to pick someone up for a flight. We are checking out that area, and that is not a good spot to be able to clearly see the plane. And then, of course, we have crews headed there and also going into the airport to talk with the travelers, people who are waiting on their flight and certainly waiting to find out more information about this and when their plane might be able to take off.
And that's one of the focuses for one of our crews out there as well, to get some of that information from people. This is more towards the Terminal 1 side of things. If you're familiar with RDU International Airport, that's the Southwest Airlines terminal, along with a couple other of the smaller budget airlines. And then it is to number 2, you know, the second terminal where many of the major general airlines take out of that Terminal 2 there. But this is on the Terminal 1 side of it. So as we try to get a little more information, it gives you an idea of location of that secondary runway closer to Terminal 1.
And Jeff, you hate to see anything like this happen, but for places for a small plane crash, at least it landed on a runway or crashed on a runway there in an airfield. No buildings, no other people around, and just waiting to find out how those 2 people on the plane, we understand 2 people on board, how they're doing. We've seen the emergency response and ambulances. We're waiting to learn if those people are being treated, if they're headed to the hospital. Still a lot of questions there. But with all those emergency vehicles on, this is certainly something that is going to take a while as they respond to that emergency, and then later the investigation as to why this happened.
Well, certainly it's affecting flight and travel for folks in and out of RDU International Airport. Inbound flights have been rerouted, they've been redirected. There are no outbound flights going out right now. And some of the delays that we were showing you before from FlightAware are even for later today. So I don't know if that gives us a sense of how long they expect this to take, some of this response to this emergency. But when you're delaying flights that are still a few hours away, it might give some indication of how long they expect things to be shut down at the airport.
And Jeff, we're keeping an eye on RDU's social media channels, just seeing if they have posted recently. Still, the last one was just only about 25 minutes ago. And if you're just joining us here on WRAL, a small plane has crashed at RDU Airport. You're looking live at the airfield where it crashed. RDU posting saying the airport authorities responding to an accident involving a general aviation aircraft near RDU's secondary runway. We understand this is near Terminal 1, so not the main terminal, but where Southwest and Spirit Airlines fly out of. The airfield is currently closed for flight operations. Big impacts to air travel this morning out of RDU. RDU is encouraging you to check with your airline for the status of your flight if you are waiting to take off.
Now, as we said, this is closer to the Terminal 1 side, the secondary runway. Sean Gallagher is out at Terminal 2 right now. Sean, do I understand that right? What is the feel? What are you seeing and hearing out there? I know you can't really see the wreck.
Yeah, from where we're at, I mean, it just feels like the airport on any given day. You can see here behind me, we've got some commercial flights that are just parked, but you really can't tell anything that's going on. I did check the website, though. It looks like 8 flights that are inbound to RDU right now were diverted to other locations. Those are a variety of flights that were coming in from a variety of different places. And also 22 flights as of now are posted as delayed. Zach, I believe that you said there may be a few of those that may have been later. Not sure if those delays are because of this, but it did seem like there were a good number of the ones, those 22 delayed flights that are within the next hour or so, likely a cause of this. But for now, we're going to see if we can get some more information, maybe see if we can talk to some folks who are having their flights delayed and see how they're feeling. But we'll throw it back to you guys in the studio for now.
Well, Sean, and eerily quiet there where you are. Was there any challenge in getting to the airport? How was traffic going in there? Have police diverted any traffic for folks going to RDU?
Yeah, it didn't look like there was much traffic getting in here at all. We didn't really see any police presence outside of the airport on our way in. Getting into the parking lot was difficult, but that's what RDU is. It can be difficult to find a parking spot here, but as far as traffic's concerned, it was pretty easy to get here.
Sean, you said it looked normal out there like any other day, except for the fact that there's no planes in the air, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. I haven't heard any go off here to take off, which we were here about a week ago when they were announcing that Copa Airlines was going to be coming here, and we came to get some video, and there were flights in and out maybe every 5 or 10 minutes. And, you know, we've been here about 10 minutes now, and I haven't heard a single flight take off.
All right, Sean Gallagher live out there at RDU International Airport. Terminal 2 is where Sean is. On the left side of your screen, you're seeing Terminal 1, that plane crash right there near Terminal 1 on a secondary runway there. A live picture from the closest camera we can get to any of the activity that's happening there response-wise on the right side of your screen there.
And here's a closer look now at that plane here, and you can see the numbers on there. Looks like an N228CH there. We have been able to learn the ownership of the plane there, Medical Air Incorporated, as we wait to find some more information on there. And we just saw this emergency services truck pulling up there as we watch. This is the closest look to the plane that we've been able to see so far since we've been taking you live here.
It is certainly the best view we've had, the closest view we've had, and I'm just trying to judge some of the body language there from the response there. I'm guessing that they have taken those folks to the hospital to be checked out there, judging by the way they're stationed and situated around that plane, just giving it its space and leaving that alone, waiting for